This is my 1995 Toyota Camry. This is the car that started it all. It's been in our family since 1997 when my mom bought it after someone returned it as a lease, and it's time to pull the motor. To give a little backstory on this car, I drove it all through high school, 15 years as my daily driver until the cylinder head cracked. Right at 400,000 miles, the cylinder head cracked. It was leaking coolant just into the spark plug tube. So I parked her and bought a 2017 Tacoma. She unfortunately sat for about 3 years before I finally put a new cylinder head on her. Well, new. I went to the junkyard and I got a good looking cylinder head that only had about 160,000 miles.
Since the head was off, I decided to teach myself how to port and polish a head. So here you can see how rough the casting is, and this is it all polished. I had a local machine shop check things out, make sure the head didn't have any cracks, cleaned up all of the parts, and once I got everything reassembled, I actually met up with some guys and ran the tail of the Dragon up in North Carolina. Unfortunately, I spun a rod bearing at that point. So, unfortunately the car was down again, and, next step.
So I was able to find a fully built 5SFE on Marketplace from an engine builder down in the South Georgia area. I bought that motor, put it in here, as well as I manual swapped the car. I was able to find a donor car. I pulled the S51 manual out of that, rebuilt it, and even installed a TRD LSD. It was an awesome setup. Unfortunately, after 30,000 miles, something catastrophic happened to the motor. I was driving. There was a tick that you could hear. I noticed that the tick had gotten louder. And then the best way I can describe it is I felt like something in the motor let go. Now the engine sounds horrific. So I'm pretty confident that it is the motor. We're going to go ahead and get everything pulled. But before I do that, I want to fire it up again, and I want to let you guys hear how bad this thing sounds. So let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see what it sounds like. All right, here we go. This thing, I haven't started this thing in I think a year. So it's the last time I heard it, it sounded horrific. So let's see what happens. I don't know how long it's going to run. I know you guys can hear that. There's no way you can't. It's wild how it'll sound okay for a second, and then it just starts knocking. My goodness, that sounds just terrible. Going into the garage, what am I doing? That sounds so bad. I'm not sure if you guys can still hear it or not, but I'm going to try to move it into the garage. It stopped, at least for a minute. I'm sad because I really want to try taking it for a little bit of a drive, but I'm highly confident that's a bad idea. Yeah, we're not going any further than that. That is a bad idea because I do not want to push it home if the motor actually seizes. We're going to get it into the garage. so that we can do the swap. Well, I say swap. I need to pull the engine and transmission. Now that we've got the old girl in the garage, it's time to get all of the fluids out. Coolant, engine oil, transmission fluid. And, you know, again, there's a lot of stuff from wiring to hoses, the harness, and the axles. But we're going to do all of that so that we can pull the whole motor out and find out what happened. Let's get a look at this oil. Yeah. That is not good. This oil should only have a couple 100 miles on it. Oh yeah. That motor's toast. Looks like unicorn blood. That is never what you want to see when you drain your oil. Next up, we want to drain the cooling system so that we can get all of these hoses and stuff disconnected. It's a little tough to see down here, but right there, can't get it to focus. But right there, we've got a drain plug, so let's get that undone. Next up, we're going to swing the AC compressor out of the way. Thankfully, all I've got to do is undo this belt, a couple bolts, and this will slide right out of the way so that we can pull the motor out without messing with the AC lines. Just like that, drive belt comes off. And just like that, the AC system is disconnected from the motor, so we can actually pull the motor out of the car. This side of the harness is ready to leave with the motor. Just disconnect this guy here. That was the last one. So we still have some hoses, some fuel lines to disconnect, as well as the clutch shift cables, or the gearbox shift cables.
The reason that I'm disassembling all of this is because the last thing we need to do in order to be able to pull the motor is remove the CV axles. Being that this is a front wheel drive car, we've got to get the CV axles out and that requires disassembling the hubs and all of the things that are connected here. Now that I finally got the axle out, all we've got to do is reassemble. This way I can put the wheels back on the car and keep it as a roller. And that's it, guys. We finally got the motor out of the car. In the next episode, we're going to get this mounted to an engine stand and figure out what happened. So if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, like, and give me some comments down below. See you guys next time.